2 minutes, sir. Height.
Please try பண்ணிட்டே இருமா. 258 ma'am.
It's live, sir.
Live.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Live start ஆயிடுச்சு.
Okay, sir.
Sir, Augustine sir.
Yeah.
ஷார்ப்பா எப்போ ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணணும்னு சொல்லிட்டு இன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் கொடுத்துருங்க சார். சுந்தரி மேம்.
Yeah, I will tell you.
ஏன்னா இன்னும் கெஸ்ட் வரல இல்ல சார்?
Yeah, he is about to come.
Okay, sir.
சார் நான் மியூட்லயே இருக்கேன்.
Okay.
சார் சொன்னோனே நான் ஆன் பண்ணிக்கிறேன்.
Yeah, sure.
சார் ரெக்கார்டிங் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாமா?
Yeah, ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிடலாம்.
Recording also started, sir. Live and recorded.
Okay, sir. Okay. ஷாம்லா மேம் உங்க இதை மியூட் பண்ணுங்க மேம்.
மியூட்ல தான் சார் இருக்கு.
அப்ப எது பேக்ரவுண்ட் நாய்ஸ் வந்துட்டு இருக்கு?
இது காலேஜ் ஐடி நினைக்கிறேன்.
ஓகே.
Augustine sir. Hello.
Sir.
பொன்முடி சார் ஜாயின் பண்ணிட்டாங்க.
Joining sir.
Ma'am, the chief guest is about to join. We will be starting shortly. Another few minutes.
Yes, join sir.
Yes, join. Okay. Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Dr. Ponmudi Raj. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Dr. Ponmudi. Good afternoon. How
Yes,
are you?
sir. Sir, our principal is here.
Yes. After a long time.
Sir, principal, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Good evening and welcome to 2 days national level workshop on ICT tools for effective assessment, formative and summative. DG Vaishnav College is a linguistic minority institution established in the year 1964 by the Rajasthanis and Gujaratis settled in Chennai for the cause of higher education. The philanthropic zeal, coupled with single-minded dedication, evinced by the management for the purpose of advancing knowledge and disseminating it, has helped the college to emerge as one of the outstanding institutions of higher education in Chennai. The IQAC of the college constantly strives to enhance the quality of the teaching and learning process. The cell periodically conducts workshops and development programs for the sustainable development initiatives in the arena of higher education. This year, during this pandemic, to equip the teaching community to go for online teaching, the cell has organized a workshop on ICT tools for teaching and learning in higher education, and around 1,000 beneficiaries across the nation participated in the program. Today, when the entire nation is looking in for various online assessment tools for evaluating their students' learning, the cell is organizing this workshop on ICT tools for effective assessment, both formative and summative. Around 900 delegates have registered for today's session. There are participants from Pan India. There is representation from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, Gujarat to Nagaland, and to mention, there are delegates from Nepal, Philippines, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Hong Kong, and Nigeria. Just to give a prelude of the type of participants, we have principals, directors, deans, academic coordinators, controller of examinations, teachers, both school and colleges, researchers, and students. On behalf of the management, principal, staff, and IQAC of our college, I deem it to be a pleasure to welcome the chief guest for the inaugural session, Dr. Ponmudi Raj, Advisor Secretariat, Director NAC, our beloved principal, Dr. Santosh Babu, all the HODs, faculty members, and all the delegates to this 2 days workshop. Let's start our today's learning session with our college prayer.
Satyauratam Satyaparam Trisatyam Satyasya Yonim Nihitam Cha Satye Satyasya Satyam Vrita Satyanetram Satyatmakam Swam Sharanam Prapannaha Vani Gunanukathane Sravano Kathayam Hasto Cha Karmasu Manastava Padayornaha Mrityam Sirastava Nivasa Jagat Praname Drishtistatam Darshane Subhavattanunam Namo Bhagavate Tasmai Krishnaya Adbhuta Karmane Rupanama Vibhedena Jagat Kridati Yoyataha Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
As a token of our gratitude, we welcome the chief guest and principal with a virtual bouquet. Kindly accept our virtual bouquet, sirs.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sirs, for gracing the occasion. Now I request our principal, Dr. Santosh Babu, to felicitate the chief guest and the participants.
Good afternoon. I am very happy to be a part of this IQAC team as a principal of this DG Vaishnav College. And also I like to quote that this is my first program of this Vaishnav College to participate in this. And apart from that, I'm going to share the dais with my classmate and my friend, Dr. B.S. Ponmudi Raj. It's a very coincident one. We two both together, we studied at St. Joseph's Higher Secondary School at Kadalur, and we worked together. He is in a good position at NAC as a deputy director, secretariat of NAC, and also an advisor. We are having a constant touch with us during our career. So I like to thank Dr. B.S. Ponmudi Raj for accepting the invitation to be with us for this 2 days national program, national level virtual training program on ICT tools for effective assessment, formative and summative. So once again, I thank the organizer and IQAC members for giving this opportunity to be with you for having a 2-day program, and also with my friend. Thank you very much. So today, in the present scenario, in the pandemic condition, this ICT plays an important role both in formative and summative assessment. When you talk about the formative assessment, it's like a feedback system where we have to see that whether our teaching learning process is whether it is reaching the other end properly or not. That we have to evaluate, and for that we will be having a benchmark, and we have to monitor the learning process, and so that we can change our strategy in the ICT method of teaching to the others. But in the summative method, where we will be doing the job of certification, and through which it may be a web-based certification, or it may be like a computer-aided assessment or computer-based assessment, whereas in computer-aided assessment, we'll use barcode and other things to assess the students, whereas the computer-based assessment, we will be using laptops, tabs, and using that we will have a multiple choice question, descriptive questions, for which we'll be using various tools, whether it may be a Google Suite tools, or whether it may be some other ICT tools developed by the private organization for this. So under this present scenario, where the teachers have a lot of challenge, especially non-science teachers, they have to they should transfer them as an IT based teacher. So under the situation, we are very much worried about how our teaching learning process and pedagogy is going to reach the students effectively. This is a very big issue we have. So under the situation, we are working hard in implementing the ICT tools for the faculty and also for the students, to do for the faculties and the students, to make the students to both summative and formative. So keeping in that mind only, our Dwaragadas, Gauranadas Vaishnav College is conducting this 2 days program. I like to thank each and everyone who are participating in this. Definitely, we have a very good speaker, Dr. B.S. Ponmudi Raj. Is a very good statistician. He's a product of Layla. I know him very well. So really his inaugural address will be very good for you, will be useful for you. And once again, I thank all the members of the IQAC to take our college to greater heights in coming future. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I take this opportunity to introduce the chief guest for the day, Dr. B.S. Ponmudi Raj.
Dr. Sundari,
Yes,
thank you, because
Sir.
we are running. Afterwards, once I finish, you can introduce. Thanks for that beginning. It's okay, Dr. Sundari. It's okay. Namaskar. Let me start, ladies and gentlemen,
Yes,
because we are time-conscious people. Normally, what happens in people like senior people watching on live Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, as well as on this Zoom platform, I must tell you that it is very difficult to look at a face for more than 10 minutes. whether it is in a TV or it is in a movie or it is any other for that matter. But anyhow, we are trying to put across so that normally webinars across the globe I have been participating. So we take them around 20 minutes. Whereas in NAC itself, we have organized more than 284 at least we are reaching. Each program consisting of 2 lakhs, 3 lakh people, 5 lakh people, or 1,000 faculty, minimum 1,000 faculty across the country. So we happen to take around 45 minutes maximum, or not less than 15 to 20 minutes. The minimum time is 15 to 20 minutes. So I'm starting like this, my inaugural address with this kind of people don't think I'm starting negatively, but I'll edit positively. So exactly I'll take 8 to 9 minutes, not more than that. I'm keeping, as a teacher, we have to be time conscious. So to start, I congratulate Dwaraka Das Govardhan Das Vaishnav College Autonomous, a linguistic minority institution. Am I audible, Sundari? Am I audible? Is my volume
Yes,
clear?
audible.
Thank you. So this is a linguistic minority institution, wonderful institution, run by the Gujaratis and the Rajasthanis put together. Those days they have initiated a joint venture, a kind of institution. So good thoughts about from the internal quality assurance cells of the ICT tools for effective assessment. We talk about formative, then we talk about even summative. We talk about trimester system, semester system, and annual pattern. 80 days, 90 days, 60 days. Agricultural institutions, autonomous colleges, universities, medical, dental.
Problem
So
in the video.
sometimes have at midnight. I'm starting one more. I'm starting is a Sundari, kindly stop if I'm not audible. Okay. Internet fluctuation, bandwidth problem, electricity problem, all upload problem, download problems, with all the problems we exist. But still we do extremely well. We put all our minds and heart together for the development of the country. Okay. This, I thought I just wanted to pay my respect to Ashok Kumar Muntaji, the secretary of the DG Vaishnav College, and my good friend, Principal Dr. S. Santosh Babu, for a wonderful, taking over, and congratulations. And Dr. Agustin Arul Prasad for taking this, IQAC coordinator, and all the senior members of the college, academic council, governing body, and other people who are listening, honorable vice chancellors, professors, and principals, and IQAC people across the country or across the globe, people who are listening. So let me start like that about ICT. When you talk about ICT, we used to say ICT cannot replace a teacher. Teacher cannot be replaced. It is not about video. It is not about games. It is about so many things people talk about. How to reach out to the students, whether LKG, UKG, MSc, MA, BA, BSc, BCom, MA, MSc, MCom, MPhil, PhD, DSc, DLIT, postdoc, immaterial. Now, given the pandemic situation, new coronavirus 2019, we call COVID-19 pandemic situation, country is moving towards this ICT base, as informed by the Honorable HRM. I would like to touch upon even the National Education Policy 2020. Now, people talk about all sides, but I will talk about one of the sides of NEP, very, very important. It talks about the 4 verticals. It talks about the organization structure change. It talks more about digital infrastructure. It talks about digital learning more. It was not there in 86. It was not in 86 policy, 1992. But 2020 vehemently, very, very, full-fledgedly, to reach out to all the schools and colleges and even all the other parts of the country, they talk about ICT. Now, what is very important with the tool? 3 things are important. One is about teaching, learning, pedagogy. Whatever the tools, even the principal in his address said about Google Source, Google Hangouts, you talk about Zoom, you talk about other platforms, Cisco WebEx, or any platform used. People should use to the maximum. People still do not, a small mobile gadget, either a GPR, a small thing with all the apps, people do not know how to use it. Forget about the high-funda mobiles or the good laptops. So as teachers, we are supposed to explore all these possibilities in pedagogy. Very important. You go to CCCMB website, Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology. Automatically, what are 2 types of cells? Unicellular, multicellular examples. Beautifully, it will teach. You go to BritishCouncilOnline.org. I'm talking 20 years, 25 years, 20 years, 15 years old story. not 2020 stories. So how the technology has developed, when those days itself technology was, people were using to the core. Now all the technologists, teachers should be equipped. Continuous assessment. First, teachers should be equipped with all the online learnings. I used to talk about whether we will be able to write all the UGC net and set examination. And the management give a big incentive to the people who get through that set and net, just to challenge themselves. Very important for participation, or a similar test can be conducted, just to keep update of the knowledge of the children, mostly the teaching faculty and fraternity. Second is, I would like to talk about research. Research without teaching is as bad as teaching without research. Very important is all our research, MPhil, PG, MCA, MBA, all our thesis, BTech, MTech theses. Why people are not publishing? Max or MSc statistics or MPhil or PhD, whatever it is. It doesn't work. Why they're not publishing? Take all the papers and run it into Turnitin or run it into Urkund and check all your theses, all your papers again and again for plagiarism or for the similarities. Very important of a quality and creation of production of a publications, books and journals, blind refereed or UGC care journals. So this is very essential for when you talk about ICT tools. The teacher first should be equipped. Second, the teacher should be completely research oriented. Then you talk about assessment. Assessment, whether you do systematically using ICT, whether first term, second term, third term, fourth term, or 4 tests and 1 assignment, or 2 assignments you give, or 2 presentations, or 2 seminars you ask them to give virtually, or a group model or a group demo you give them. Then you assess them. Then the controller of examinations of autonomous colleges, university has a huge role to play. He or she will have a big role about the question bank system or choosing the question banks, part A, part B, part C, whether it covers the entire syllabus or the curriculum. Because we are senior people, we understand curriculum is much, much beyond. We don't teach syllabus. Curricure in Latin, curre means you run a program, you don't teach a program. So this is the fundamentals of a teaching fraternity. So people should understand the whole pedagogy. You simply say pedagogy, research methodology, very loosely we use terms as junior faculty, senior faculty, self-financing faculty, assistant, associate professors, principals, deans, vice principals. We all should be aware of what is a formative assessment, what is a summative assessment, how to differentiate the critical thinking. The policy talks about, more about the values, institutional values, constitutional values, Indian values. So we talk about love, we talk about non-violence, we talk about fraternity, we talk about integrity, we talk about credibility. The policy NEP 2020 talks about all the values, institutional values, constitutional values. How do you inculcate the student of MSc chemistry? He got a gold medal, he got a bronze medal, no problem, good, very good. That's why they come to study. They got a good placement. What happened to the value system? How do you do formative and through ICT formative and summative assessments for these intangible aspects of quality? That talks about quality. That talks about the institution. So when you talk about 50,000 colleges, 993 universities and odd, and more and more universities, every college will be given powers of autonomy. Everybody wants to do for DST, DBT, ACT is asking, UGC is asking, NAC is asking, so we will do. Why teachers and institutions and managements are not realizing our college should do this? Our college needs quality. Our college needs branding. And this is the future of our country. So the future of the country lies with these people. We understand this. It is easy to speak, but in the classroom situation, year after year, 90 days, first sem, second sem, third sem, fourth sem, sixth sem, next year, till retirement. Then the youngsters take over. How you imbibe this characteristics, quality, leadership. Whether principal is there, HOD is there, people will work. Principal is not there, HOD is there, people don't work. Is that the culture we are trying to imbibe? People should work on our own. Freedom to the teachers. We talk about freedom to the teachers. How far we are talking about give freedom? On whether they are logging in, Google form is filled up, feedback form is filled up, then only give e-certificate. Otherwise, don't give e-certificate. So many webinars people ask, good. ICT is good, webinars are good to reach out. But there should be a self-imposed discipline for our teaching fraternity. Then you talk about assessment, formative, summative modules, how to cover the syllabus, how it covers the curriculum, how the program specific objectives, program objectives, course outcomes, learning outcomes, all are matched with graduate attributes. How to ensure it. Then we use the ICT tools. Otherwise, enough market people. I'm not against privatization of private people. Private, so many the software companies, a lot of online tools. Take our tool. You buy this 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs. But what is the content is important. Teaching fraternity, boards of studies, academic council should give the formative and summative assessment tools, interventions on pedagogy based on boards of studies. This is very essential in a nutshell. But this, I have a lot of things to share. As I told you, I just took exactly 10 minutes. I would like to close and wish this wonderful seminar, a webinar, a wonderful success to all the participants. Pranams, Namaskar Ji, Jai Hind. Dr. Santosh Babu, Dr. Sundari,
Yes.
Dr. Augustine Arul Prasad.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Best wishes.
Indeed, it's a great day of learning with you, sir. Your kind presence, and we are all fortunate to listen to you. And I'm sure with your inspiration, the delegates are definitely enthused to participate and get maximum values out of the teaching and the learning discipline, sir. Also, for the information of delegates, we are in the end of the inaugural session. I take this opportunity to profoundly thank our benevolent management for immediately approving all the quality initiatives and steering the appetite for learning. A special mention and sincere thanks to our principal. Though it is just a week of taking a principalship, Sir has extended his support in all possible ways for enhancing the quality initiatives and empowering the teaching community. My special thanks to my IQAC team and student volunteers for ensuring that there is no compromise in quality. Thank you all. The training session will start shortly.
Thank you, Dr. Santosh.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations, your team.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Dr. Augustine,
Thank you
thank
all.
you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you,
Once again,
Ponmudi.
Thank you,
yes, sir.
Thank you.
Now it's my pleasure to introduce our my colleague, Dr. T. Augustine Arul Prasad, Assistant Professor of Chemistry and IQAC Coordinator and the trainer for today's session. Sir is an enthusiastic and most sought after trainer, and he has been a resource person for around a dozen of FTPs and has published 21 papers, authored 2 books. A versatile person with 13 years of teaching and 11 years of research experience, he has also undertaken University Grants Commission minor research project for teachers under 12th plan with a grant of rupees 2.1 lakhs. Prior to his teaching career, he worked as a content developer, consultant, team manager for Cyber School Technology Solutions Chennai. It's a multinational IT-enabled education company, and he has participated in several workshops, MOOCs, orientation and refresher programs, and held various positions like Valuation Camp Officer, Academic Council member, and IQAC Coordinator. A teacher with industrial exposure, an able administrator, and a passionate trainer, Dr. Augustine Arul Prasad had recently trained and motivated around 1,000 teachers to go online for teaching and learning. Without further ado, I welcome Dr. Augustine to start the training session. Augustine, sir,
Yes,
over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sundari ma'am. I profoundly thank our management, our secretary, our principal, and for their wonderful support during the past couple of years and even before that. And during this pandemic time, they have been supporting us so wonderfully. It was an amazing support from the management and also from the principal. So I take this opportunity to thank our secretary and principal, and also my dedicated team of faculty members in IQAC who have been working day in and day out and ensuring the quality aspect of the college. Based on our successful completion of a previous virtual training on ICT tools for higher education teachers, where thousands of teachers have benefited, and some of our videos have been watched for more than 6,000 times in our IQAC YouTube channel. And so we thought of bringing out the next part of the program, that is the ICT tools for formative and summative assessment, because for the past 1 or 1.5 months we have been very meticulously engaged as teachers. We are engaged in teaching the students using various ICT tools, and it is time for us to assess our students and to understand, to know what has happened so far. So we thought that it would be the right and appropriate time to introduce the ICT tools to the teaching fraternity, and the teaching fraternity can take up these ICT tools and they can move forward in their ICT enabled teaching and learning process. We have already seen several blended versions, blended classrooms, and I hope many of us are versatile with all these techniques and tools. And today we are very happy to welcome you all for this virtual training program. So, as mentioned by our principal and also Dr. Ponmudi Raj in their address, we are into the world of ICT, and we are actually in a learning process. So, this year will be a learning process for us where we learn completely about the ICT enabled teaching, and the tools required for training our students through online mode. It is also important that we learn the various tools for assessment, and today is the day. And I thank all the participants. There are more than 1,000+ registrations for this particular training workshop, and we have people across the country and also from abroad. I take this opportunity to thank all the professors, principals, dean, controller of examinations, and all the teaching fraternity of this country and abroad for joining with us in this 2-day national level virtual training program. This is going to be like how we did in the last workshop. This is going to be an hands-on training program. So as we work along. You can work along with me. And to start with, okay, the first tool is going to be, you can open up your Chrome. You can open up your Chrome browser. The first tool for the day today is Jamboard. Okay, you can go to your Google page. You can go to your Google page, and you can just go to this 9 dot icon. Click it here. So when you click it here, you can see there is a icon called Jamboard. You can just open the Jamboard. Now, before I move into the details of the Jamboard, let me give you a very brief introduction about the formative and summative assessment. Now, when we say formative and summative assessment, we know that they are both assessment tools, and there are very minute differences between these two modes of assessment. The formative assessment goal is to monitor students' learning and to provide ongoing feedback that can be used by the teachers to improve their teaching and by students to improve their learning. So formative assessment will enable the teacher to improve their teaching, and it will also enable the learner to improve their learning. So we need to understand this. Now, in many of our learning process, teaching process, as far as the higher education is concerned, we are only concerned about summative. We always work towards continuous internal assessment and end semester examination. We never bother to understand whether our teaching process has correctly, or the teaching methodology or our teaching has been transformed correctly to our learners. So now the time has come where we need to ensure that whatever we teach is well received by the students, and whether the students accumulate the knowledge as our teaching learning process undergoes. Okay, so the formative assessment, now let us imagine, let me give you a simple example. Say for example, say a chef is preparing a soup in a restaurant, and when the prepared soup is tasted by the chef, and that process is what we call it as a formative assessment. And when the same soup is tasted by the customer, then it is called the summative assessment. Okay, so the formative assessment is actually happens during the process, and the summative assessment happens at the end of the process, and its goal is to evaluate students learning at the end of an instructional unit by comparing it with some standard or benchmark. Now, when we work on a formative assessment, the evaluation happens during the learning process, where the teacher can monitor the learning process, and the purpose is to improve students' learning, and the evaluations include little content areas, and it considers evaluation as a process. Okay, so see, nowadays students feel that whatever test we keep in our what do you call in the college, they don't take it as continuous internal assessment, rather they take it as continuous internal harassment. So whenever we say we are having a test or we are having a assessment test, they feel that like we are harassing them. So this normally happens in our assessment process, because we never understood the real meaning of assessment. And today we are going to learn a lot of wonderful techniques where we can really enjoy our teaching process, and as well as the students will really enjoy the evaluation process. As far as the summative part is concerned, the evaluation happens after the course completion, and the evaluation is used to assign grades to the student, and the purpose is to evaluate student achievements, and the evaluation includes complete chapters or content areas, and it considers evaluation as a product. So please understand the difference. Formative assessment is a process, and summative assessment is a product. Now, uh, what exactly happens? What are the different types of formative assessment one can think of? You can see the formative assessments could be observations. Okay, we can ask the students about what they observe. It can be questioning, it can be discussion, it can be journals, assignments, project, pop-up quizzes, and graphic organizers, written questions, multiple choice, presentations, diagnostic test, kinesthetic assessments where the students move, work, prepare a model. So all these are kinesthetic assessments, and whiteboards. So there are a lot of formative assessments that can happen inside our classroom, which we are actually neglecting, or which we are not aware of so far. So the time has come to understand the different types of formative and summative assessments. Now I am working with a tool called Jamboard. You can open up your Jamboard. Now this is a wonderful tool which can really kindle the anxiety of the students. Thereby he or she can give their ideas, and they can visualize a lot of things using this Jamboard. I will show you one of the Jamboard where which I am using for my one of my class. Okay, now what happens exactly in a formative assessment? And in this tool you can use animated GIF. You can see here. So in this tool you can use animated GIFs. The students can be so creative, they can put animated GIFs inside this tool. I will tell you one by one. So this tool can be used to write. Okay, so you can write in this tool. The students can write. If you do not want anything, you can erase it. You have a pointer, you have a sticky note where you can type, and you can put that sticky note somewhere here. So wherever you want, you can put that sticky. All these things will be done by the students. Okay, and you can insert image. The students can insert file. If the students want to search something in the internet, they can always do that. Say, let me put it as assessment. So if I type assessment, see, I am getting this image, and I can easily take up this image and I can put it inside. So I'm there are some student participants in this workshop, and all these student participants, please remember, this is one of the best tool I have come across recently, where you can give all your ideas, you can present your ideas in this Jamboard. And please remember, this Jamboard is collaborative. Therefore, you can send this Jamboard across all the students, and you can collaborate this Jamboard and you can work on it. So what is a formative assessment? It is before or during instruction, and summative happens at the end of instruction. What is the purpose of a formative assessment? It helps to guide the teacher in planning and improving instruction, and also helps students to improve learning. See, we are masters in summative assessment. We know how to conduct our CIAs, we know how to conduct our projects, so we know how to conduct our end semester examination. But this is not at all happening in our classrooms, and that is the reason why we are unable to understand when a particular class or when a particular student performs very poor in the end semester examination. We will be wondering, if a particular class performs very poor in the end semester examination, we will wonder, what happened? Is my teaching is not good? My dear faculty members, it is not your teaching is not good, it is your formative assessment is not good. Because if you had done this formative assessment during the course of your instruction, you would have identified the exact problem within your students, you would have changed your teaching strategy, you would have changed your teaching methodology, and therefore you would have made the student to understand, and the knowledge transfer would have taken place in a better way. So the purpose of summative is the teachers and students don't know the level of accomplishments attained in their teaching learning process. Okay, so what are the examples? Okay, there are various examples that is available for formative and summative. You can just make a note of it. So you can include rubrics. I will talk about rubrics. There can be class discussions, there can be questionnaires, there can be self-evaluations, there can be peer evaluations. And as far as summative is concerned, you can have written tests, creative assignments, written reports, project, practical examinations, and self-evaluation. Okay. Now, what happens in this formative assessment, and what is the need for formative assessment? Please remember, we are not running our educational institutions to just give away the degree which has no meaning. See, we are actually in the process of developing products for the 21st century. We are in the process of developing the better India, and we are in the process of developing the developed India. So our products, namely the students, should have all the qualities required to face the challenges of the 21st century. Our students should be leaders. Our students should have the quality of critical thinking. Our students should have a good communication skill, and our students should have the habit of collaborating with people. So these are very crucial for any student who has completed the higher education system after obtaining the degree. Now, what exactly the skill sets required for a 21st century student? You can see the 21st century skills are totally different. Whatever learning happened before 20 years or 25 years is not happening today. Today, the industrial sector, the technology, everything is focused on these 21st century skills more than the knowledge, in the respective domain. So the student should have literacy, the student should have numeracy, the student should have scientific literacy, ICT literacy, financial literacy, cultural and civic literacy, critical thinking and problem solving, creativity, communication, collaboration, curiosity, initiative, persistence, adaptability, leadership, social and cultural awareness. So these are the 21st century skills which is categorized as foundation literacies, where the student apply these core skills in everyday tasks, and all these things comes from their from school education till college education. So this is where they learn it from school to college, and this happens exclusively in higher education, where they start doing the critical thinking and they become more creative, and they develop their communication and collaboration, and they also develop these skills by having more responsibilities and more platforms in their higher education, where they develop curiosity and adaptability and leadership qualities, especially in the college. So these 21st century skills has to be imparted into the life of our students, and it can happen only through curriculum, and the curriculum that is enriched with new education policy, and the curriculum that is enriched with the formative and summative assessment. So this is Jamboard. You can ask your students to use this Jamboard. They can change the background, they can change the color, okay, and everything can be done easily. What you need to do is you have to just create a Jamboard and give a title for that Jamboard and share this Jamboard in your Google Classroom. Once you are done with that, let us see what happens. So I have done this to my students. Okay, I have done this to my students, and let me see what happened. So I will show you a Jamboard prepared by my students. Okay, so I have many Jamboards prepared by my students. So this is one such Jamboard which is prepared by my undergraduate students. I also have a Jamboard for my postgraduate students. So once you give them an opportunity, okay. So this is how I gave the Jamboard. I just created this title, "Welcome to the World of Stereochemistry," and I created this page, and after that I left to the knowledge of my students. So this is how my students have interacted with me through Jamboard. Okay, so they have created all these things. Okay, so whatever they can do it. Okay, so see this. So this is how my student has interacted with me. All these happened during this COVID lockdown time. So see, my student has even introduced see, videos. Okay, so they have even introduced videos into the Jamboard. You can see here. So we have to give them an opportunity to work. So if you give them an opportunity to work, and I think they can do wonders in their education. So this, I am taking it as a formative assessment. So this is formative assessment tool number 1. This is your Jamboard, where your students can really enjoy their learning, and they can come out with wonderful ideas in their teaching learning process. You can see here, you can see it here. All these slides were prepared by my students. Okay, I just gave them the idea, I just told them to prepare, and it was prepared by my students. So this is our Jamboard, and it also becomes a tool. It also becomes a study material for them, where they learn how their fellow students are thinking, and they learn how their fellow students are working, and it becomes a repository of learning material for them. So whenever they want, they can open this Jamboard and they can just go through it, and they can enjoy the learning process. I hope you follow this Jamboard. Ma'am, please check the chat box. If there are any queries, please note down the queries, and we will try to answer the queries at the end of the session. Is that okay, ma'am? Shamla ma'am? Hello, Shamla ma'am? Are you there?
Hello.
Yeah, yes.
So,
Shamla ma'am? Sundari ma'am is there?
Sir, proceed, sir. You're
Okay.
fine, sir.
Okay. So if there are any issues, you please let me know.
Definitely, sir.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. So this is Jamboard, and you will always find it very interesting when you start working on it. Please share it with your students. See all these background and all these what do you call this decorations and all. It was done by the students, and they are doing it wonderfully. Okay, so this is Jamboard. It is available as a free tool in our Google. The second tool for the day, and before we move on to the second tool, I would request the participants uh, to kindly take up this poll. This is our second tool, which is, we call it as Mentimeter. We have already seen this tool in our previous workshop, but today I will show you some other features of this Mentimeter. And first, I request all the participants to take up this quiz along with me. I am going to present this quiz. Okay, so I'm presenting this quiz. Kindly log into menti.com. Kindly log into menti.com. Kindly log into menti.com and use the code 4113833. So what is the specific problem you have had with assessing the student learning, or what is the specific problem you always face while assessing your students? 4113833. Log into menti.com in your mobile or laptop or desktop. Log into menti.com. Just type menti.com, menti.com, and use the code 4113833. What is the specific problem you faced while assessing your students? What type of problems you face? Or what is that prevents you in assessing your students periodically? Because I told you, we are into, as far as the higher education is concerned, we always think about CIA and end semester examination. We never bother about the formative assessment. So what specific problems we have in assessing the student learning? Lack of honesty, very good. So the students are not honest. Okay. What specific problem you face while assessing the student learning? Log into menti.com, menti.com, and use the code 4113833. Focus on understanding. Okay, you mean to say that the students' grasping power. Okay, okay. Presentation, bookish students. Okay, we are actually blaming our students. Okay, correcting, fixed time allotment. Okay, please tell me what problems you face, what prevents you from copying. Yeah, the major problem is copying. Students like they always copy, they tend to copy. So how to break this habit of copying? It is only by enabling them to think creatively. Okay, not regular in class. Okay, see, we can only break this habit of copying. Internet problem, finding tools to correct. Yes, getting the results, paper correction, user friendly platforms. Yes, there are many user friendly platforms which you can use. See, even this Mentimeter tool is a wonderful tool which you can use with your students in every Zoom or Google Meet class. So in every class, you can put a question and you can ask your students to answer honestly, because in this platform, the identity of the person who is answering will not be revealed. So it is such a wonderful tool, this mentimeter.com, where you can where you can put 20, maximum 20 questions. That is, for one user ID it gives you 20 questions. Beyond that, you have to buy the premium plan. But still, lack of interest. Okay, lack of interest on the part of the teacher or on the part of the students, I don't know, but lack of interest is picking up. And this Mentimeter can create a word cloud, and the most sought answer will be put up in the word cloud. So copying, lack of interest, copied answers, method of assessing. So a lot of people are answering right now. So please log into menti.com, menti.com, and use the code 4113833. This is again a wonderful tool which will enable the student to come out with answers. It will enable the student to come out with a lot of answers. Network issues, last minute effort. Now you can see there are a lot of answers coming out here, and see, we can actually find solutions to all these answers if we start thinking that this formative assessment is very much essential for our students, because we need to understand that we need to create a knowledge bank inside our student. See, at present, our teaching pattern only creates students with degrees but without knowledge. So, if the real knowledge transformation has to happen, then we need to understand that there are problems with our system, and we need to try to eradicate those problems from our system and help our students to be the most brilliant students in the world, and make our students the most sought after students in the world. So you can see lack of concentration, lack of interest, copying, diversion. Okay, great. So we have so many answers here. Thank you. Thank you for participating. You can still answer this, and I will move on to the next question. Have you ever understood the meaning of formative and summative assessments while creating your assessments? You have to answer honestly. Okay, you have to answer honestly. So far you have been creating assessments to your students, and have you ever understood the real meaning of formative and summative assessments while creating your assessments? While creating your assessments, have you thought about the pedagogy? While creating your assessments, have you thought about the Bloom's taxonomy? While creating your assessments, have you ever thought that, okay, my assessment is going to help my student to improve his or her knowledge? Have you ever understood the real meaning of formative and summative assessments while creating your assessments? So when you teach to your students, you can throw open question like this, and you can get results instantly from your students, and immediately that results can be incorporated in your teaching methodology, and thereby, as we told you, the formative assessment is will help you to change your teaching methodology, change your teaching pattern, and thereby it can help a lot to the students in their teaching learning process. Yes, I'm getting a lot of honest answers. So, have you ever understood the real meaning of formative and summative assessment while creating your assessments? Please answer honestly, because this poll is very crucial for us in this learning process. Summative assessment while creating your assessments. Please answer honestly, because this poll is so we are having this poll results. So I see 28 have the total is 71, and 28 have answered yes, 22 have said no, and 21 have said they have tried sometimes. Really wonderful to listen to you all. Now you can also try this mentimeter.com. Now mentimeter.com can be accessed very easily. You have to just type it. Okay. You have to just type it. When you open a Chrome browser, just type mentimeter.com. So when you type mentimeter.com, it will take you to this home page. Okay. So when you are inside this home page, you can create a new presentation. You can go to this new presentation and you can give a presentation name. And once you have created your presentation, you can always create slides, and based on this, see, if you add a slide, you will get a new slide. You can create a multiple choice, you can create a word cloud, or you can create an open-ended question. So you can always have open-ended questions. So if you want a quiz competition to be conducted, you can conduct a quiz competition. And if you want your students to type it, then you can always have a typing session. And you can even use numbers to configure your things, and you can also use themes. Okay, so there are a lot of themes available. You can use these themes so that the output of your results will be fantastic. And you can say, for example, if you're clicking this theme, so it will be totally wonderful. Okay, so let me use this theme. See, my theme has changed now. Still now I have people answering. So I have irregular, lack of presentation, not boring, hard working. Okay. And this mentimeter.com, you have to simply create this, and you can share this. You can ask your students, but please remember, when you share this, you have to ask your students to join with menti.com. You should ask your students to join with using the site menti.com. You will be creating this inside mentimeter.com. So you will be inside mentimeter.com, and you will ask your students to create it using menti.com, and you can do wonderful feedback using this particular tool. It is one of the best tool I would suggest for the formative assessment, mentimeter.com. Okay. Now, the third important thing that I wanted to share with you is the rubrics. Now, what is a rubric? A rubric is a criteria that enables the teacher to design the grading pattern for a particular assignment of a student. So using this rubric, we normally assess our students, and this rubric can be created inside a Google Classroom. So you can see there is a rubric which I had created inside a Google Classroom, and the rubrics can be created very easily inside a Google Classroom, which we saw it in the previous workshop. And you can always watch the previous workshop videos in our YouTube channel, DGVC IQAC. You can always subscribe to it, and please do subscribe the YouTube channel so that you will be getting constant updates on the various workshops and ICT enabled tools. Okay, so once you create the rubric will help you to evaluate the assignment provided by your student. So here I have created a rubric called content, which I have given 5 points. Then knowledge, that is extent of application of knowledge, as 5 points. And you can also have a discussion where the students, if the student is actively participating in any discussion, then you can give, or whatever rubric you want to have, you can always have this rubric. And this will be a wonderful marking tool so that the students also will know what exactly happens as far as the assignment is concerned. See, so far we have been asking the students to post the assignment in our Google Classroom, and we simply allot them marks. We never bothered to give them marks based on some criteria. So this will enable you to allot the marks based on the criteria. See, you can see here, I have given marks based on the criteria. I have allotted 5 marks for content. I have allotted 5 marks for knowledge, I've allotted 5 marks for discussion. And once after you go through the entire assignment submitted by your student, you can add specific points to the assignment, and you can even mark the mistakes of the student, and you can add a private comment, well done. Or if you have any mistake, you can always put that in this private comment and send to the student. So the student will receive the comments along with the rubric marks. He or she can acknowledge that real learning and teaching is happening inside this online platform. Otherwise, since we are not virtually connected with our students, we will not know whether the real learning is happening without having such tools. See, we will be in a closed room, in a dark room, where we will be simply talking and the students will be simply listening, and the real transfer of knowledge will not happen unless we have such tools and enable these tools in our everyday teaching learning process. So please go through our previous workshop videos in our YouTube channel, where I have discussed about this rubric. Now you can create this rubric in an Excel sheet. You can always create this rubric in an Excel sheet, and you can always copy and paste that rubrics in your Google Classroom. So it is better to always prepare and keep the rubrics ready. So you can prepare a Google sheet like this, and you can always keep ready the rubric. So once you want to create a rubric in the Google Classroom, you can always create that rubric. Simply you have to copy this and paste it in the Google Classroom, and your rubric will be ready. And you can share this assessment or share the assignment with your students. The students will turn in the students will turn in the assignment, and you can correct all the assignments using the criteria that is given in the rubric. Okay, so that is with regard to the rubric. And the next part is, you can see, we can always create our summative assessments, that is multiple choice question. Okay, so we can always create our multiple choice question by using this add-on tool called create form. Okay, so if you want to create a Google form, the best thing is you can have all your questions in your Google Doc. You can type the question in your Google Doc. If you don't want to type, you can always talk. So if you want to talk, you can talk in this Google Doc and create your question. Okay, so you have to just click this tool, go to voice typing, click to speak. You can talk whatever you want in this Google Doc, and you can prepare a question using this using the statement that you talk or type. Okay, so what you need to do is you have to just copy this, Control C. You have to paste this here, and you have to give the choices. Okay, while giving the choices okay, while giving the choices, you have to use it in a different way. You have to put it as multiple choice or whatever method you want to have, and you can always create the choices here separated by semicolons. So don't forget to separate it by semicolons. And once you do that, your Google form will be ready. You have to just click create form. When you click create form, your Google form is ready. So you can, if you simply click view form, you can see here your question is ready and your answer is ready. In order to do this, you have to simply go to the Google Doc. You have to click add-ons, go to add-ons, that is get add-ons, go to get add-ons. It will take you to the add-on store. Yes, so simply type doc to form. So when you type doc to form, you will get this add-on. It is already installed, so just click it. It will be installed in your Google Doc, and once it is done, You can always do this wonder. You can write, you can speak in several Indian languages. So this will be very much helpful for all the people across the country. You have Hindi, Tamil, Kannada, Malayalam, Urdu, Telugu. Okay, so you have all the languages. So you have to just talk. So if you talk, it will type. That's it. Okay. And the add-on can be used to convert your doc into form. And another important thing in this Google Doc is if a student submits an assignment, if by the help of this tool, you can um, create a word cloud. Okay, sorry. With the help of you can create a word cloud. See, you can have word cloud also from a Google Doc. The word cloud which we did with Mentimeter can also happen using the Google Doc. So you can prepare a Google word cloud. Now, in your Google form, you can add another add-on. The name of the add-on is Form Builder. Okay, so the name of the add-on is Form Builder. After installing Form Builder in your Google form, say for example, you want to copy questions from Google Forms or Google Sheets or Google Docs or Google Slides, you can always do that using this Form Builder. If you have a set of questions in your doc, or if you have a set of questions in some other Google form. So let me say I have a few questions in another Google form and I want to copy the entire stuff into this particular Google form. Okay, so I can always do that. So I'm actually copying questions. See, I've copied questions from another Google form. I'm not typing. See, so far I have not typed in my Google form. I have not touched my keyboard in my Google form, but my Google form is generated. So I can talk, just copy it and put it in my Google form, or I can export anything that I have into my Google form. And like this, I can prepare my Google form for my summative assessment. So this add-on, the name of this add-on is Form Builder. You can use it. It's so wonderful to use because it reduces a lot of time to create a Google form or to create. So you can even use, you can take material from Google Docs. If you want to add something from your Google Doc, you can always do that. Okay. Okay, so you can see here, you can see I'm still adding some more text. So if you want to have questions, so if you have short answer questions to be given to your students, you can type all those questions, keep it ready in a Google Doc, and you can just use this add-on, and you can simply import all those questions inside your Google form. So Google Form is the widely used tool for summative assessment and also for some formative assessment. And these are some of the shortcuts which you can use for your Google, for your formative and summative assessments. Okay, the next tool is Thing Link. Okay, so the next tool is Thing Link. It is one of the tool which I found it very, very, very innovative, and I really enjoyed this tool using with my students. Let me show you one such tool. See, you can create a video, a 360-degree video, and you can create a lot of questions using that video. Okay, so I'm showing this tool for you. You can see this gives me the information about the first information about this particular video. So we are inside Saima Lake, a lake in southern Finland. It is approximately 4,400 square kilometers. It is the largest lake in Finland and the fourth largest natural freshwater lake in Europe. So we have a lot of boat cruises, and fishing is the most popular activities on Saima, and it happens so beautifully that everybody is interested. Now you can see, wow. Hey, watch this. Wow, that's a YouTube video about Lake Saima. What do you like the most about Finland?
Nature, forest.
Järvet. Puhdas ilmasto. Kaikki on hyvin.
Finland is sauna. It's a sauna fish, and it's one of the cultural aspect of the whole nation. My dear teachers, you can create a video like this, and you can create your own formative tools, assessment tools like this. Okay, so you can watch it later inside this think link. It is already available. Now again, back to this board. See, you can see here, you are inside this board. Oh, what's this? What is this tool? Can anybody guess? What is this? Can somebody answer through the mic? Some of my teachers. What is this? You are curious, aren't you? What is this? Any answer? Any answer in the chat box? Hello. It's very crucial for us. Any answer in the chat box? Yes. What is it? Yes. You want a better view of this? I can show you a better view. Yes. Any guess? Come on. What is very important for a board? To stay still. Okay, so it's an anchor. Now, again, something pops up here. Oh, after Sweden, Finland has the second highest share of renewable energy in Europe. In 2015, the share of renewables in electricity generation was 45%. Oh my God. You also have other things. Okay. Okay. So now you can see this video is running. And this particular icon shows the questions where the questions are exactly posted. Okay, when you rotate, so you can see there are questions posted, and you can see, so there are so many videos like this inside this thing link. And if you want to share with your students something, you can easily search. Say for example, I will search for Tamil. Okay, so I'm from Tamil Nadu, so let me search for Tamil. Tamil is our language, and when I put Tamil as search, I get a lot of informations like this. And I have a video about the Tanjai Periya Kovils, one of the historical marvel of our Indian and Tamil culture. So you can see, you can create. See, this was created by someone. You can see முதலாம் ராஜராஜ சோழன் என்று அழைக்கப்பட்ட சோழ அரசன் சோழர்களின் சிறப்பின் சின்னமாக விளங்கும் தஞ்சை பெருவுடையார் கோவிலை கட்டுவித்தார். So like this, you can create your own interactive videos, pictures, and you can share it with your students. So this will create a lot of excitement among students to learn and interact with you, and it will be a kind of formative assessment for you. Okay, so this is thing link, and you can always type your subject if you want any subjects. Let us talk about if I type it as India. So if I type it as India, I get all these pictures about India. Okay, so many such things. So he's an amazing freedom fighter, dreamer, unique, wonderful Mahatma Gandhi ji. So like this, you can create your own things and you can send it to your students and you can mark it as a formative assessment. So this is about Thing Link, a wonderful tool, a formative assessment tool which you can think of and you can send it to your students. Okay. The next tool is Edpuzzle. Edpuzzle is another free tool which can be used for creating a lot of puzzles. I've been enjoying a lot of Edpuzzle quizzes. I've been sending it to my students and they really enjoy it. Okay, so once I will give you some time, you can just log into Edpuzzle. You can log in using your Google account. I'll give you a few moments. You can open up Edpuzzle because it is going to be one of the important tool for formative assessment. Edpuzzle is a very important tool for formative assessment. Okay, I think you would have entered your Edpuzzle content. You can create your content actually. So if you want to search some content, let me search for my subject. Let me say stereochemistry. I'm from a chemistry background, so I'm searching for my stereochemistry. So I have now this Edpuzzle enables you to select the videos. Okay, all these videos are free to use. Okay, they are covered by Creative Commons. Now you can take any one such video. Now we are actually creating a formative assessment for our students.
Okay, organic chemistry students. So we have been working on addition reactions to alkenes, and we've gone through a couple of situations already. Our first situation is where we add a small molecule where both parts of it are identical.
Okay, sorry. So what we can do is once you select your videos, okay, so okay, once you select your videos, I will just work on one of our videos. Okay, so once you have your video, you can add questions to your videos. Let me just go to it. You can first select your videos.
Hey guys, Professor Dave here. I want to talk to you about stereoisomers, especially enantiomers and diastereomers.
He knows a lot about the science stuff. Professor Dave explains.
So we're probably familiar with it.
Okay. So at this point, if you want to add any questions, so I again repeat, you have to
Hey guys, Professor Dave here. I want to talk to you about stereoisomers, especially enantiomers and diastereomers.
So at this point, if you want to add any questions, you have to just go to the edit, click questions, just put an open-end question, something like, what is the name of the professor? Okay, and save it. Okay, now you have the open-ended question, right?
Hey guys.
See, once you start the
Hey
video,
guys, Professor Dave here. I want to talk to you about stereoisomers, especially enantiomers and diastereomers.
Now,
and understand a little bit. Professor Dave here. Hey guys, Professor Dave here. I want to talk to you about stereoisomers, especially enantiomers and diastereomers.
He knows a lot about the science stuff. Professor Dave explains.
So we're probably familiar with the term isomerism and understand a little bit about
exactly
what isomers
at this
are.
point,
there's different kinds.
The video will stop.
The
video stops. Exactly at this point, the video stops and the question will pop out. Now, the beauty of this thing is, this Edpuzzle app is, the students will not be able to move further. The students will not be able to move further unless they answer this question. Okay, so we will enable the student to understand the concept, and you can have an open-ended question. You can have a multiple choice question. Okay, the another important aspect of this particular Edpuzzle is that if you have your own videos, okay, video lectures, and those video lectures can be used to create questions. Okay, you can see here, you have my content here. So this is our video where I talk about the stereochemical aspects, and you can see I have created a lot of questions. Sorry. Now you can see it moves.
For one additional reason that these heteroatom-based functional groups are new.
This is how it will be visible to the students.
Atoms. As a result, with some organometallic systems, the carbonyl carbon and the X group will combine to chelate the metal, and this changes the addition pathway significantly. Now, when this chelation happens, we are going to end up with a different isomer. When does this chelate does not occur? When the metal is lithium and sodium and potassium, or when the oxidation states are +1, the reaction follows a Felkin and Marv. Now, when does this chelation occurs?
So immediately the question pops up, and unless we answer it, it will not move further. Okay, so like this, you can create questions on your own videos, and you can enable the student to understand your lecture in a more better way. And this is one of the best tool I would recommend for formative assessment, because learning happens, and also the doubts of the students are clear then and there, and the students will be able to see, we can understand how much of our lecture has been understood by the students, and all the reports, all the reports can be generated. Okay, you can see you have a grade book. You can see here. So you have a grade book here, and this grade book will help you to analyze the performance of the students, and also it will help you to understand what is the need, or how well you can change your content and the mode of delivery. So Edpuzzle is a wonderful tool. Please explore this tool and you will really enjoy the various features that is available in this tool. You can only really understand and enjoy each and every tool only when you try to work on it. So unless you work on each and every tool, you will not get the full satisfaction and also the knowledge of the tool. And therefore, I will recommend this particular tool as one of the best tool for formative assessment. So the tool is Edpuzzle. You can get a lot of videos. You can get a lot of videos on various subjects. The only thing is you have to just take that video, create a quiz, and just share it to your Google Classroom or share it to your students. And you can understand, you can ensure that to what an extent your students can see that video. And you will also ensure that your student is watching the video. That is very important, because in most of the cases we do not know whether the video is watched by our student. So in this case, you can also ensure that our video is watched by the students, because the timing, okay, the timing is also recorded. The timing is also recorded, and we can see, you can see students. The timing of the students is also recorded, and you can download the grade book for this, for a particular class, for a particular Google Classroom. Okay, you can download all the grade books. Okay, and you can also import. You can also import students. You can view the answers. See, it also gives you when the student has watched, and it gives you the grades also for the students. So this will help you to understand that, okay, your teaching is going well among the students, and you can go ahead. Otherwise, you need to stop, look back, and you have to change your teaching strategy, and then you have to proceed. Okay, you can always you directly push this to your Google Classroom, and you have a provision for it. So you can just simply push it inside your Google Classroom. The next tool is called Miro Whiteboard. Just type Miro, Miro Whiteboard. The next tool is Miro Whiteboard. It is a free collaborative tool. Miro Whiteboard is a free collaborative tool which can be used effectively for collaborative learning. Now, the best thing you can do is you can create a whiteboard. Okay, you can simply create a whiteboard. Just click create whiteboard. Okay, and you can share this whiteboard with your students. So I'm copying the invite link. I'm copying the invite link, and I am posting it in our Zoom. Ma'am, can somebody post it inside into our chat box? Can someone post this into the YouTube channel chat box? Kindly post it. And those who are inside the Zoom can also click the link, and you can join with me into this Miro whiteboard. Now, this Miro whiteboard can give you a wonderful way by which you can interact with your students during a class. You can ask them a question. You can create a mind map. See, You can create a mind map with your students, and you can have a brainstorming session. You can just create it, and you can ask your students to, okay, you can ask your students to do it. I will just a moment, ma'am. Please don't share that in the thing. I will just give you another thing, because it says it is not editable. Okay, ma'am, kindly share this link with the kindly share this link with the chat box. Please remove the previous link. Kindly share the second link to the chat box. So you can join using the second link with me. Okay. You can see there is always some, there is already some predetermined, it's already there. Okay. So can somebody join inside? You can do the collaborative work in a lively way. Just click the link and you can join inside. You can put a sticky note. And if the teacher is presenting something like this, and he or she can answer, biotechnology, Kiran Sharma has entered. Very good. Beautiful. We already have 6 participants inside this. Okay. You can add a sticky note. You can ask your students, what is evaporation? And the students can answer immediately. You can put mind map, and you can remove all these things like, okay. So you can remove all these attachments, and you can, sorry. You can add video. You can add video. You can make it as a presentation mode. You can also comment here. You can type your comments here. Those who are participating inside this Miro whiteboard, you can type your comments here. Okay, so you can just type. You can share this. You can export this board to your students. I can see one Miss Abhinaya. You can also just try this Miro whiteboard. Try the tools that are present here. You can add a video. We can have a video chat. You can draw. Okay, you can draw. You can ask your students to draw. So this becomes more interactive with the students, especially during the teaching learning process, and you can assign marks accordingly. And this can be used as a tool for the formative assessment. Alagarsi ma'am is there inside. Ma'am, you can write some text here. Okay, so let me type hi. Let me type hi to all. So you can collaborate with all your students. You can collaborate with your students, and you can do the typing. You can insert a link. You can insert shapes. Everything is there. So there is a message. Hello, sir, Mohan. Okay. So Mohan Arvind has typed a message. So you can interact with your students lively. See, this tool can be used if your Zoom or your Google Meet fails. If there is no possibility for you to, if there is no camera, or if there is something happens to your Zoom or Google Meet, this would be the best tool to interact with your students in an online mode where all the 30 plus or 40 plus students can interact simultaneously, one after the other. You can give the instruction in the chat box, and you can collaborate with them, and based on their interaction you can assess marks. Miro whiteboard is another important tool as far as the formative assessment is concerned, where you enable the critical thinking process of the students. You will make your students to think. Okay, see, teaching should enable the students to think. It should not enable them to simply prepare themselves for the CIA or end semester exam. It will enable our students, it should enable our students to think and to use their knowledge wisely. Okay, so this is your Miro whiteboard. Let me move on to the next tool. The next tool is formative. Formative is another very important tool. Okay, so formative is useful for creating, okay, assignments for the students, where you can add image, text box, video, whiteboard, multiple choice, essay, multiple selection, short answer, show your work. So any type can be created. So if you want to create, let me say I'm going to give an option called show your work. So I've given show your work. Type your question, write an essay on new education policy. Write an essay on new education policy. So if you want, you can edit the background, okay, or if you don't want anything, you can just leave it. And after you create this, you can assign it. You can add a new class from your Google Classroom. And once you assign it to your students, the students will post their responses, which you can watch it or which you can view it from here. Okay, so it can be multiple choice, multiple selection, short answer, true or false. Any type of assignments can be given to the students, and the name of this is formative. Please explore this tool. It is quite interesting tool, and you can have a lot of what do you call methodology to train your students. You can also have pre made templates. Okay, formatives that promote critical thinking. Okay, so formatives that promote critical thinking. This is a collection of formatives that educators entered in our first ever library contest, and you can use such templates for your content creation. Okay, so this tool is called formative, and it's a very useful tool which can be used for creating quizzes. The next tool is Quizlet. The next tool is Quizlet. Quizlet is another very interesting tool that enables you to create very interesting questions. Now, one of the uh, beauty of this tool is, let me say, what is carbohydrate? Okay, so when I say what is carbohydrate, if I say it's create, okay, then add a description, biomolecules. Okay, so I've added this question, then Okay, let me put it as glucose. And now when I enter glucose, it automatically gives me an answer. It says the formed sugar that circulates in blood. Okay, so I'm putting it here. Okay. Now this is the title which I have given here. What is carbohydrate and biomolecules? So when I say glucose, then I put it as okay. I will just put it as carbohydrates. Okay. So organic compounds with a major source of energy. So I get it. Now image. If I click image, it gives me my, okay, it gives an image for me. So you can add the image. And if I click the image, it gives me the image of glucose. So now my content is created. And you can immediately share it in your Google Classroom, and you can mark it as a formative assessment. I will tell you how to convert this into a formative assessment. Okay. So you can always copy, or let me put it as copying link. So now I have my glucose. During my class, I will ask my students, what is glucose? And the students can give some answers. You can use Mentimeter for such answers. Okay. And the answer pops out. So normally we do this in our PowerPoint presentations, but this can be done here in Quizlet.com. And carbohydrates. Okay. So based on this presentation, you can create many such cards like this. These are called flipping cards. Okay. So you can create such flashcards or flipping cards, and you can make the learning process more interesting. And you can also make it as a formative assessment, and you can award marks for students who are giving the right answer by using this flashcards. Okay. So this is called Quizlet. The next tool is Padlet. So Padlet is another wonderful tool where you can have uh, interactive sessions with your students, and you can even ask your students to prepare such Padlets, and they can submit it as an assignment. So there are a lot of Padlets that can. Okay. So Padlet is a board, a creative board, which will enable you to interact with your students. And you can always, this is one of the Padlet which was created in our earlier presentation. So similarly, you can have a Padlet with your students. You can create it and you can share the details with your students. Your students can join in this Padlet, and they can tell their views. You can ask, you see, you can incorporate what do you call uh, GIF files. You can incorporate pictures. You can take a pic and you can post it. So all such things can happen in this Padlet. Okay. I can share this Padlet with you. I think I can share it. Okay. Now this Padlet can be endless. See, you can see it is an endless Padlet. You can just go on, use it for the entire semester or even for the entire year. I will share the link in the chat box. I think you can share this. You can share this link in the chat box of the YouTube channel. And let me see, let me get some comments. Your comments will be posted here. You can share your views. You can share your comments. You can share your views right now here. I will give you some time. You can share. So I'm getting some comments. ICT session, always interesting with Augustine sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for all your efforts. Informative and interesting session. Thank you, sir. Made a photo gallery using this app after the last workshop. All the students contributed. Wow, that's wonderful. Thank you, sir, for this wonderful session. Thank you very much. Please upload this. So I'm getting a lot of comments. Very nice webinar. Damn good session. Augustine, sir, please upload this webinar on YouTube. Yes, you can. You will have it in our IQAC channel. You can always upload it. Very informative session. Can you suggest some tools for mathematical teaching? Okay. In fact, we are much concerned about the assessment tools. There are a lot of tools available for mathematical teaching. Kindly send us a mail to our IQAC. We will get back to you. Can I have some pictures? So this is one of the formative tools which you can use it with your students. You can connect with your students and you can ask your students to present their views and ideas so that they can present it in a better way. And for each class, you can have a Padlet like this, and you can do the formative assessment. See, again, in this Padlet, there is no need for checking the identity of the students. If you want, you can ask the students to give their roll number and check their identity. And you can actually use this Padlet to assess the students and help them to grow. I've been using these tools for at least for 2 years from now. And I find it very interesting. And tomorrow you're going to see a lot of interesting tools which I've been using. There are a lot of tools like Flipgrid, Nearpod, Quizzes, Gymkit, Kahoot, Socrative, Wakaru, ClassKick, PeerGrade, Piazza, TEDet, Edmodo, and Emaze. So we are going to see all these tools tomorrow. Now, this Padlet, we can use it as a feedback. Okay, feedback from the participants. I see a lot of people giving their feedback. Testimonial to Professor Augustine. Okay. I'm very happy that I'm learning new ICT tools from your lecture sessions. Thank you very much, sir. I would be very much happy if you can write your names so that I can acknowledge you in this webinar. Awesome. So some GIF is coming. Oh, my teachers are really creative. My teachers are really awesome. Thank you, sir, for this wonderful session, Rosa Anand. Thank you, ma'am. And some of the departments are using this Padlet for creating their workshop, for creating their seminar and workshop photographs. So they are always collaborating and they are using this Padlet for creating it. But it is one among the best formative tools because you will give an opportunity for your students to be more creative and to express their views about a topic and also to be more expressive. See, nowadays our students are deprived of their expression, so this will enable them to be more expressive. There is also a tool called Quizmaker. You can just give a try. Okay, there is a tool called Quizmaker where you can create amazing quizzes online. So you can create quizzes online. This enables you to create 25 quizzes at a time. And these are the quizzes which I had created long back. And you can create a lot of quiz, and you can also see the results. You can see the poll results like this. Okay, you can see the poll results like this, live poll results. You can always have, you can have the poll results in different format. You can have it as a pie chart. And this is another important tool called quiz maker. You can also try this quiz maker for your formative assessments, right? And there is one more tool called PROPROFS. Okay, so ProProf is another, it's a wonderful tool. You can create an online quiz using variety of templates. Okay, and the quizzes can be made very easily. So let me create a quiz. Um, it gives you a lot of option. Create a survey, create a course. Okay, and it also gives you a lot of training in creating a quiz. So let me create a personality quiz. So there are a lot of templates available for creating a personality quiz. So you can use these templates for creating a quiz. Okay, and the templates can be used. You can have multiple choice. You can have true or false. Okay, and you can have checkbox. See, you might be tired of using Google Forms. So it's time has come where we can throw away all these Google Forms, and we can start working on such templates, and that will make our children more creative and interactive. You also have brain games in this ProProfs. So you can try these brain games. You can create crossword puzzles for your students. You see, our generation, the present generation, has totally forgotten the crossword puzzle. It has also forgotten hangman. So you can give life to these crossword puzzles and hangman to make your teaching process more lively. Okay. Oh, he's ang. Okay, so you can create a question, and you can try this Angman puzzle, and this will be really interesting for the students. You can also create crossword puzzles for your students, and you can also create word search for your students. See, these three were the type of games which we were playing when we were doing a college. So these games can be reintroduced to our students, and students will really enjoy it. So this is proprofs.com. This is proprofs.com, and we can see there are a lot of people. Very useful session. Srinivasan sir has commented. Angir Khanni has commented. Vijayanti ma'am has commented. Sir, please share your mail ID and number. Sure, I will share it. Don't worry. So very useful session for teachers, sir. Very informative. Okay, thank you for providing such a nice, and I think we can share the feedback link in the chat box. Highly informative session which could be enable us to present the academic content better way to the student community. Somebody is typing. So Kiran is typing here. Thank you all for your wonderful comments, and you can also watch. You can just log in. You can just log in to this YouTube channel. You just type Infoledge. This is our YouTube channel. Infoledge, INFOWLEDG. So in this Infoledge YouTube channel, you can get a lot of videos on ICT, and you can see a lot of videos like how to use Squid app, comparison between Google Classroom, YouTube live streaming, recording, Google Sheets, and lot of other videos. So please subscribe to this channel, Infoledge, INFOWLEDG. It is run by me, myself, and my wife. So, and you will get a lot of information about the tools, ICT tools in this channel too. So please subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to subscribe. And coming back to the feedback, ma'am, can you please post the feedback? It's almost 5. So we will, thank you very much, sir. So we will close the session for today. I hope all of you have received any questions from the audience. Sendamarai, ma'am. You can come inside and you can talk. Sendamarai, ma'am. Are you there inside? Sendamarai, ma'am, are you there? Chamla, ma'am?
No, sir. Sendamari ma'am is not there.
Okay.
We have a question like, how do we add timer to Google Classroom?
Yeah, not Google Classroom, Google Form.
No, sir. It has been mentioned as Google Classroom.
Okay, I don't think we can add a timer to Google Classroom. There is a possibility to add a timer to Google Form. I received a video in Padlet. You can see there is a video. Wow. Some of you are using it effectively. Wonderful. Okay. See, you can make all these tools to make your students more enjoyable, and you also become popular among students. Any other question, ma'am?
We have a question from Bindu ma'am.
Yeah.
I'm using Mentimeter during my class for quiz competition. Few times it is getting stuck.
Okay. Maybe due to connectivity. So far I have used Mentimeter several times. It has not got struck. It may be due to some technical issues like connectivity issues. Otherwise, it works very good. You send me a mail or WhatsApp, ma'am. I will try to talk with you.
We have a question from Dr. J. Sivakumar sir, from Tamil literature. Will these kind of tools support regional language like Tamil?
Exactly. This one tool, Padlet, can be used for typing Tamil, and the students can put a lot of information inside. See, it is not regional. It is not about the subject. It is about the attitude, how we use these tools. Okay, I can use these tools for chemistry, mathematics, biology, science, technology, engineering, law, medicine. There is no boundary. It is how we use these tools during our online sessions is what matters a lot. Yes. Any other question, ma'am?
Nandita ma'am needs to know like how to add a timer in Google Forms.
Yeah, that's simple, ma'am. You can always add a timer in Google Form. You have to just put an add-on. Go to Google Form and you have to just add an add-on to Google Form and you can create a timer. The name of the add-on is QUILGO, Quilgo. Formerly it was Timify Me. You can add this. Just go to settings page and you can add the add-on, and please add this add-on. Okay, so once you add this add-on, your Google Form will be configured, and it will lead and it will take you to the Quilgo page and enable Quilgo for this form. So I am enabling timer for this form. Once my timer is enabled, you have to log into this page Quilgo, and you have to complete the formalities there. Once it is done, your form will be ready.